Okay folks, our next step is working on the engine. It got these parts, this part's pretty standard. It states here, you've got two pieces here, E5 and E6. It states here, if you're not using E5, which is this piece here, if you're not using E5, if you're not, don't want to install the propeller. So it gives you the option of like a diorama. If, like I say, I'm going to do mine on the ground with maintenance, so I'm going to have the option. Okay folks, our next step is working on the engine. It is a rotary engine. So like as before, we're going to have to paint parts separately, then assemble it because it requires different colours and stuff. So we can go ahead and attach these parts. These parts on the top of the engine have got to be done in a silver. The main engine part is done in steel, as they call out for. This section here can go together because this is the same colour. These rods, they call out for steel. These pipes, they call out for, it's like a copper colour, but a dirty copper, so you're going to have to weather that up. This has got to be done steel. This centre piece has got to be done steel. This shaft is probably done in steel. And then we can start assembling it together, because obviously the colours. And then we can give it a wash and grime and heat stains and stuff. Okay, we can start assembling the engine now. There's two locating pins, you can't really mess it up. Get slotted in like that. So what we do is put some clamps on part of the engine, and we go ahead and glue it into place. Quick set. Okay folks, now we've finished it, painting the clear blue and clear yellow. Unfortunately I was going to film the clear yellow, but I realised I didn't push the record button, so I didn't do the recording. But this is the final result for the clears. Now our next step is to give this a wash with oils. So we're going to use an earth wash, and then we can use Tamiya black panel line as well to give it some oil effects, not like actual oil from the engine effects, or we can use actual engine oil by Meng. I might use that instead, but it all depends. But our next step is to give it a wash to dull this down. So our next step is to give it an earth wash. It's oil based. I'm going to go all over the engine. Bear in mind it does look quite harsh, but it does dry back a hell of a lot lighter. Don't forget the back of the engine, even though you probably won't see this part. And so once that's dry, we can go over again with a darker one. So our next step is to do panel line from Tamiya over the engine. Over the cylinders. And this gives it a worn, grimy effect. So you want to literally cover the whole entire engine in this, front, back, sides, tops and bottom. Don't forget to even do this bit. All the way around here. May look really harsh. Bear in mind this is wet. It does dry. If you're not happy with too much, you can always get a cotton swab. And you can always dab off some of the excess if it's a little bit too much. Don't forget to give the other engine parts a wash as well. So again, these can be with the black. As well. Also don't forget the exhaust parts, which are these. So again, putting the black over top of the copper is going to make the copper look not brand new copper. It's going to make it a more worn and dirty copper. Okay folks, our next step is working on the propeller. Bear in mind all the techniques I've been showing you, how to do engine, propeller, the way the aircraft's been going together in certain techniques of doing cockpit, is the way I know how to do things. It may not be the perfect way of doing it, but it's the way I know how to do things, so bear that in mind. So as for the propeller, our next step is to paint this a light brown. Then we've got a mask like these curves within the propeller. Then it gets painted a dark brown. Remove the tape, then you give it a clear orange, and that's pretty much it for the propeller. I have a spare propeller which comes in the kit because you do get optionals, which is a straight version. This is going to be with straight lines, but what I will do is I will do both techniques and show you how you can do these wooden effects. But this curved one is the one we need for the kit. Okay folks, I want to talk about propellers. I've never done a wooden propeller before, so I've used this book. It's pretty good and it gives you a lot of ways of doing things. And in the book it has wooden propellers. You have wooden propellers from World War One, like type. These are with straight lines. Basically what the lines are mimicking is layers of wood, is how the propeller is made. So this is done with straight lines and then it's varnished, and these have got metal tips. This is a curved option where the wood is laid in a different way and it's created these curved patterns. I would like to do this one, but I tried and I struggled to pull this pattern off, so I went for the straight option, which is similar to this, which we have here, which is again German propellers but with straight lines. It's easier to pull off. So how it's done is clear, is a base colour of light sand, then you mask off the straight lines, and then as it comes to the leading edge you have to curve it around slightly because obviously the centre propeller has got the curve. Then spray it brown, remove the tape, give it a clear coat of orange, and it's pretty much ready. But I did mine slightly different, and this is what we come up with. Okay folks, I've just finished doing the two-tone effect on the propeller. This is done with really thin tape. And the tape I used for that is this really thin stuff that I've got, which is made by this company. It comes as a pack of 3, 1mm, 2mm and 18mm, which is the large one. So this is the 1mm thickness tape. If you can't get hold of this thick tape, you do have one of these cutting strip boards type things. You can make your thin strips by using this. So this is what I come up with from my propeller. I've used oils as well to give it a wood grain effect. I'm pretty reasonably happy with it. You can see it's curved over, but I would have liked to have done the curved pattern, but I find that tricky to do. But this is the straight version of lines, and basically, like I mentioned before, the lines mimic layers of wood where it's laminated. Okay, this is what the propeller and engine looks like together. It come out reasonably well, I'm happy.